Shyam, I mean, the fact that the Cleveland Clinic, known for efficiency, paired with the highest quality care, picked Palantir to improve on that is a major feather in your cap. Tell us right now what your software will do for the clinic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Liz. We're so excited about the partnership with Cleveland Clinic. It's been a phenomenal opportunity to co-innovate on actually helping increase capacity in healthcare. So we are optimizing patient flows using our virtual command center, bringing together data on the patient and the clinical procedures that are necessary, data on the resourcing that's available, optimizing that allocation across geographic areas, and then importantly, the workforce scheduling aspect of ensuring that care can be delivered when it's needed. And doing this not only at a static point in time, but using AI and sophisticated models to give you deep predictive capability for weeks out that allows you to optimize and re-optimize. Because as you know, while you may be able to schedule all the orthopedic knee replacement surgeries, you can't schedule who's going to come into the ER room. So how do you dynamically balance against this ever-changing supply and demand to deliver care?
Well, we're looking at the LMT video. That would be the Lockheed Martin stuff. But what's really crucial here is that what's going on with the Cleveland Clinic. And to that end, let's talk about the emergency room, because when we were talking in our meeting this morning about you guys and what you'll be doing, I said, my gosh, there is always such a backlog because you never really know when an emergency room is going to have a massive number of people walk in or it's totally quiet. But maybe by sifting through the data over years and years, you can pretty much figure out that on Saturdays, weekend warriors, grown-ups, and my floor director, Austin, who played touch football over the weekend. And
still hurts.
Oh, yeah, he's still complaining. He's still fetching here. But, yeah, all of his friends right there in the urgent care.
I think.
Go ahead.
You're hitting on a very important point, and a lot of this was really brought out by the shocks of the pandemic. I think from a healthcare perspective, what we're doing generalizes to the work that we're doing and the momentum we're seeing across the U.S. commercial business, which is that in order for your institution to not only survive, but to thrive, it's not just about how well can you plan what's going to happen, it's how well can you also react to the things that you could not plan. And so giving institutions that ability to react to reality.
Okay, well,
that's what you're seeing in.
Can I bring in?
So through the context.
I do want to bring up exactly that. We could not plan for a pandemic, although great and brilliant epidemiologists like my sister-in-law, Dr. Anne Ramoyne, would say, yes, you could have planned for this and we knew. But I want to say that about in 2020, there was an understaffing issue, the likes of what America has never seen. And then about a year and a half later, things calmed down. What can Palantir do in this relationship with the Cleveland Clinic and potentially other hospitals and organizations to anticipate when you can let doctors have extra sleep or when you know you're going to be needing a bigger staff of them?
And you are hitting on the crucial issue right now. I mean, we are talking about frontline workers who have been grinding it out for over 2 years. We're doing this work in both the UK and the US. And before it was just about, can I staff the OR room to deliver the care? Now it's, can I retain those workers? So how do I manage the workload? This brings in the logical dimension to it. So there is that need to deliver care today, and there's a need to balance what you're asking your workforce to do to make sure you can continue to deliver that care. And the reason that's so acute is that we had this big backlog of procedures build up over the course of the pandemic for a couple of years, and that backlog is rushing through the system now. It's stressing every aspect, from the labor model, resourcing model, to care delivery.
I know that you've been working, as you said, with the United Kingdom. There is a little bit of a pushback there. Some people are concerned about how you safeguard the patient information, which is obviously very sensitive. Have those questions been addressed, and what are you doing differently, if anything at all, with the clinic to make sure that you put to rest some of the concerns about patients' data on your Foundry system?
Yeah, I mean, those are crucial questions. You can't work in healthcare. I mean, healthcare is our third largest vertical. It's an area that we've been in since before 2012, and an area that we're quite dominant in. You really can't work in healthcare if you can't protect the patient data. We actually have developed world-class leading data protection that we call purpose-based access control. So I'm not just securing the data based on the data set or the rows and the columns, but also I'm able to determine whether you have a legitimate purpose and that there's been consented use to this data. So actually, we're quite proud of the investments we've made and continue to make in data protection and privacy and civil liberties. And we think that's what every citizenry deserves.
Well, you guys have been, as we say, on a deal roll. You just yesterday announced the relationship with Lockheed Martin for the U.S. Navy combat systems. Not to mention, you've been working on a partnership with Ferrari for the Grand Prix. These are fascinating, actionable, profitable events that you could actually put together to make the company a lot of money. And it must be frustrating when you look at the stock, which obviously, like every data stock, has really gotten hammered. How do you get the world and Wall Street to see that this is a company that is in it for the long term and is going to improve this picture? I mean, you're down 61% year over year. It's great to see you up 5% today, but how do you sort of wrap your arms around that problem?
Well, I've had the great fortune of being at Palantir for 17 years. And over that time, what we've just focused on is making our software more and more valuable. Making sure that whether it's the kill chain in Lockheed Martin or the supply chain with Tyson Foods, that there are no missing links and that we are delivering day over day. And we recently had a customer conference in Palo Alto where Tyson Foods was talking about how they got $200 million of savings within 24 months and how rare and how hard that is. And Jacob Engineering was sharing how they're projected to save up to $90 million in energy costs in wastewater treatment. And those stories that we're getting from the front lines, literally on the front lines of Ukraine to the front lines of our customers in the U.S. commercial business, they continue to motivate our product roadmap and the value we create. And we think the stock price will reflect that.
Shyam, love having you on. We follow this company, and I really appreciate you talking about it right here, breaking the news on the Cleveland Clinic relationship, and let us know as soon as you bring down those emergency room wait times. That, I think, a lot of our viewers really psyched about.
Absolutely. Thank you, Liz.
Good to see you. All right, retailers reporting earnings.